Today we're talking about R.A. Wilson Farms. It is my son's farm actually that I've been helping him kind of design his for his new business that he has with his Black Angus cows. He sells grass-fed Black Angus beef, and so some of the things we've been working on today is like his creative brief, our target audience, who we want to target for his business, and some of that is the health conscious society, getting rid of the hormone and the antibiotic free products that he currently has, that we currently have in our meat products that we buy in most of our big chain stores. And so he has a local farm that's in Inca, North Carolina, and so I've been working with him to design his program. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to talk about his advertising needs, who we're targeting, why we're targeting this group. We just feel like it's just a time that this is a good business to be involved in. It's a locally owned farm. The demographics that we're going to be targeting are 25 to 55, health conscious families that we are dealing with today because of their health needs. And yeah, our kids are experiencing health issues younger than they ever have in their lives, and so part of this is kind of addressing some of that. Organic bred beef, it's what's on your table tonight. We're going to work on radio, print, outdoor billboards. That's what we're looking at today. But we're also added some social media aspects, some magazine ads that we like to place, some Yellow Pages ads. Taking a couple of our ads and kind of putting them in magazines, newspapers, and the telephone book, and in magazines to generate business for him. We're also going to try some social media stuff that we've not tried before. This is a picture of him and my granddaughter and one of their cows. And if you look, we're going to do, it's Growing My Future Organically, what's on your table tonight. We're going to do a magazine ad, a newspaper ad, and Yellow Pages ad with this one. And we feel like, you know, I guess the emphasis for having my granddaughter in there is this is our future, and we want her to grow up and be healthy. The next thing that we're going to talk about is the radio ad. And locally, this is probably the best thing to use for the radio ad, because he can be relationship building and building his audience because he lives locally in the in Inca Candler, and so we thought about 99.9 as one of the radio stations that we could use. There's a couple other ones. 105.9 is another one. So there's a couple that we could build relationships with, and normally advertising on the radio is a little bit cheaper than doing a television ad. I know we've talked a little bit about a television ad, but for cable network it might work, but I didn't really cost that, and I didn't plan on that for this point because of his money, the limited amount of money that he has. But the one the one TV ad that we'd like to do would be of him and my granddaughter, radio ad that we'd like to do is my granddaughter and him talking as they walk through the field to feed the cows, and talking about why it's so important to have hormone and antibiotic free beef that you eat, raised as it's, to me, as God's intended us to raise it. Another thing, we've talked a little bit about radio ads, and so we've addressed that a little bit. The storyboards for the TV, here the father would be walking through the fields. This is where they'd be talking, and this one page would be where they're talking about similar what we'd be giggling and talking as they walk around with the cows. The father and daughter would be in the scene feeding the cows, and then this is the scene where my granddaughter is. This is the scene where Growing My Family Organically, what's on your table tonight. And the next thing was show the father still speaking, asking them to call him to put local organic beef on their table tonight. And that's the last page. So that's where this one ends. The next one's a little bit different. It's not as long. It's probably a 15-second. I know I put 30 seconds there, but probably we can do this one in 15 seconds. But it's mainly just my son and talking about filling their beef needs. Don't forget to like us. Always like us on Facebook. Anything that we can do to get incorporated into the social media aspect. One area that I'm going to focus on with my son is getting on LinkedIn, because then you can deal with business to business. And I think that's somewhere where he needs to be. So then he's getting local business, and hopefully get into some of the local businesses that would have employees who would like to order the beef. So those are a couple other places. So there's the storyboard there. So we came out with two different kind of commercial types. The second one is mainly just him and with the cows behind him talking, and then finally going and getting in his car. The non-traditional ad was kind of like the reversal role that we talked about in our class. This is the woman who's dreaming. The doctor, if you can look, is kind of stern. The woman's looking a little concerned because the doctor's, just giving her all these bad news. But then she wakes up and realizes, she's not who that doctor is. She has been healthy. She's been eating healthy beef that's antibiotic free and hormone free. And so it's something that's important today. The gorilla ad on the other thing, and I would take this one and make it into a keychain in the shape of a beef, but I would use this picture with the R.A. Wilson logo. I've been working on the logo, but I've really not gotten a good feel for what I really want for that logo yet. But then I would take the flyers and the tents and to the local restaurants or the local farmer market and hand those out at those places. The out-of-home ad is here. I would take the logo symbol and the phone number, and I talked about it. I would take this out-of-home. Excuse me, I'm on the wrong page. Out-of-home. I would take the out-of-home picture of cows, and I would put the R.A. Wilson logo on there. Like us on Facebook. And there's a new thing that you can do with plastic that we can actually put the whole thing around his truck, and when he gets tired of that one, he can take it off. I think it's around $1,000 to have that done, or $2,000. But as his business continues to grow, he can change the pictures, which is kind of cool, because then he's constantly changing what's on his truck, and people are kind of looking for him because he's doing some things differently. And so that's one thing that we've talked about doing. And then his truck becomes. We could even do something on his wife's car, the Tahoe that she has. I hadn't thought about that, but we could do both. And then the out-of-home ad, the other one was making the keychain. Excuse me. I think I already told you a little bit about the keychain, but really back here I was talking about table tents and then handing them out at the local restaurants and the supermarkets, and then putting them under the windshield wipers of the cars, but also at the local farmers market. And then I wanted to do a series of billboards. This first one would be at exit 8. It would be in Old Fort as they're coming up the mountain. The next one would be at probably exit number. Excuse me. This one would be at exit number like 59, and it would just a picture of her, because it's a continuing. Like us, R.A. Wilson Farms, like us on Facebook. And then the last one would be at exit 44, where my son's farm is. What are you feeding your future? R.A. Wilson Farms, like us on Facebook. And the reason I put like us on Facebook is there's always that instant contact with them, and as we do make updates and different things, then we can put them there. One of the goals is to build a website for them. Haven't gotten to that point yet. And then the multicultural, R.A. Wilson La Granja, translated that's R.A. Wilson Farms. And then Con Nostros, and it's like us on Facebook. And then Lamar Callas, and so that would hit a Hispanic market that's in the area. The social media advertisement, this is their current Facebook, although they're a little bit older there. But social media advertisement, like us on Facebook, your next door neighbor call, and then for your Black Angus beef needs. And so I would put that there and run ads on Facebook, running different things and getting people to share it with you. And now you can do business on Facebook, which I think is exciting. And then the next one would be our social media. So another social media advertisement. Come visit us on our Facebook page. R.A. Wilson Farms is another one. Eventually, I'd like to build a LinkedIn website, a LinkedIn page for them, and also a website, so that we could always be directed them to those sites because they're easily accessible. And then we're going to talk about the direct mailer, the design for hats and T-shirts. I think I've gotten out of sequence here. But the design for hats and T-shirts, I would use the stake on the front of it with R.A. Wilson Farms, because every man likes a good steak, and every man likes to wear a hat. I know some of the women do. But it's a little bit different kind of looking hat or T-shirt that you would have, because who wants a steak in front of it? But you know what? It advertises what we're all about. It's that T-bone steak on the grill any time of the year. And then the last one would be, I think I skipped this one, excuse me. This one right here, the direct mailer and the coupon. Actually, this could be a direct mailer as well as a coupon at the same time, advertising how much meat you get for that price. But also, like us on Facebook, call us today at, R.A. Wilson, call us today to place your order. Visit our farm and bring this mailer with you to receive $25 off your order. So there's a coupon advantage there. A little bit different. They're bringing the actual flyer and coming and actually visiting the farm. So that's kind of exciting there. I thought it's a little bit different. So anyway, that's kind of their campaign. Some future things that we're working on is the website, also LinkedIn, and looking at some other local pages that we could actually advertise on. For my son is just getting started, so this is he doesn't have a lot of money to invest in advertising, but these are some things that we've come up with. I appreciate your time. Thank you.